when he's with you. The biggest of all time at what he does. I also want to thank my good friend Lee Greenwood. How about Lee? So we were in Tennessee last night, and Lee was there, and I get that. But this was a surprise tonight. But you know, that song is one of the great songs. But when he's singing to you, like, direct, we really like that song, right? We really, and we like Lee Greenwood. And he's been with us from the beginning. He's been with us absolutely from the beginning. And while we're talking about incredible people, let's get it over with, right? So I have a few people that are right out here, and they're very special. They've done an incredible job for us. They've been with us from the beginning also. I'm going to start by saying, Sean Hannity, come on up, Sean Hannity.
By the way, all those people in the back are fake news. Mr. President, I did an opening monologue today, and I had no idea you were going to invite me up here. And the one thing that has made and defined your presidency more than anything else, promises made, promises kept. 4.5 million new American jobs, 4.3 million Americans off food stamps, 4 million Americans out of poverty, and we're not dropping cash loads of cargo planes of cash to Iranian mullahs that chant death to America. Mr. President, thank you.
And we don't mean at all to insult. Look at the size of the media back there. That's a lot of people. And you do have, honestly, I see you have some very fine people back there, but you have some that aren't so fine. But we don't want to insult, but I have to do this also because there's a woman on Saturday night that treats us very, very well. And she does it with love and with passion for the country. Not for me. It's not a passion for me. It's a passion for the country. And I really believe it's a passion for you because we've together formed the single greatest political movement in the history of our country. She understands it. And she's understood it from day one, and she did this little show, and she was just going to do it, a little fun, and then it became this tremendous success, and she has got viewership like you wouldn't believe, and she speaks from the heart. Her opening monologue is always exciting. It's always exciting, and it's always brilliant, and she's my friend, and she's your friend, Justice Jeanine.
Thank you. Do you like the fact that we are now in the longest, strongest economic growth streak in American history? Do you like the fact that this man is the tip of the spear who goes out there every day and fights for us? If you like the America that he is making now, you've got to make sure you get out there tomorrow. If you haven't voted yet, everyone you know, your grandmother, your cousin, your kids, even your next door neighbor, if you don't like them, get them out to vote for Donald Trump and all the people who are running for the Republican Party.
We've got to have them be very careful with those stairs because she just did a great job, but we don't want her to fall going down those stairs because they will be decimated. Janine has been a great, great friend to all of us. You know that. Also, we have some terrific people that have been with us, and they've worked for us, and they've taken the slings, the arrows, and they're so strong, so tough, so smart. I just want to introduce somebody, and I said today twice, in Ohio, where we had a crowd like this, and outside there were thousands and thousands of people. And then we went to Indiana, where we had a crowd like this, and there were thousands and thousands of people outside. And I just want to say, there's something happening out there, folks. There's something happening out there. Now, you don't know, and I'm not on the ticket, although they want to put me on the ticket. I will say this. If we don't do so well tomorrow, they will put me on the ticket. If we do great tomorrow, they will say he had nothing to do with it. He was not on the ticket. But that's okay. We're all getting used to each other. Does that look like the Academy Awards back there? Look how many people there are. Look how many, the Academy Awards. That's the Academy Awards. And you know the bad thing? We can have these massive crowds. And this is my third one today this way. You know, that's not supposed to happen. That's not. Somebody said it's not humanly possible. I said, I guess it is. But you know, these events, they say you do one a month and then you recover. And then you do another. But you don't do 3 in one day. These have been incredible. And yesterday, we were in Georgia. We had the biggest crowd you've ever seen, working for the man who hopefully will become the next governor of Georgia. He's a great, great person, and I think he's going to do very well. They had a lot of celebrities going out there, but the celebrities drew flies. They just drew flies. They didn't have much of a draw, but he's going to be fantastic. But I want to introduce a person who, from day one, she was just smart. Even though she's my daughter, she was just smart. No, don't worry. I'm smart also, and we're smart. Hey, you know, while I'm at, don't you love it when they talk about the elites, right? The elites. Come, honey. When they talk about the elites, I want to tell you, this is the elites. Ivanka, say a few words. Come, honey.
Hi, Missouri. We love you. We love you. So much love. And we are fighting for you every single day. This president, this administration is fighting so that all Americans can achieve the American dream, and that's what's happening. The economy is roaring, and tomorrow is about ensuring that it stays that way. So really, thank you for being out here. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your energy. It's just an amazing honor. We love you.
Be careful with those stairs, everybody. Be careful with those stairs. Now, you know, they talk about the elites. The elites. Well, I know all the elites. They're not very smart in many cases. They have a lot of hatred in their heart. I don't know about you, but many of you went to better schools than they did. We did better in the schools than they did. We have better houses, homes, boats. We do better than they do. We work harder than they do. We make more money than they do. Why are they called the elites? But let's let them be called the elites because we are the super elites. We are the super elites. We are doing well. We are doing well. There's some people out there. But, you know, I said just before Sean had me on, and I said, you know what's going to bring us together? This incredible success. I think it's going to eventually, we have to get the election over with, but I think at some point, they're going to say, okay, it's time. We give in. We give in. Let's all get together. At some point, that's going to happen. But being a negotiator, I have to follow it up with this. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. So, 3 people that have helped us so incredibly. Very special women that have been unbelievable from day one. I'd like to bring up Sarah Huckabee Sanders. That's pretty good. She's fantastic. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Wow, that's pretty good. How about letting her do the first part of my speech? Good idea? Also, Kellyanne Conway. And a woman who was involved very early on. We had the great state of Michigan. It hadn't been won in many, many years by a Republican. It was said to be unwinnable. I was told, don't even contend for Michigan. And then I met a woman who had a lot of drive and a lot of energy. And she said, I'd love to run Michigan. I said, I heard it was unattainable. She said, they love you in Michigan. And they want their car industry back because their industry was taken to Mexico and Canada and other places. And you don't like that. And you don't like that. No, I don't. And by the way, it's all coming back, folks. You see what's happening. It's all coming back. It's all coming back. And she worked so hard. And that beautiful evening in November when they started counting the ballots, and we won Florida, and we won South Carolina, and North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. And we did win Indiana, that's for sure. And we won Ohio, remember? Remember they used to say, you cannot win unless you win the great state of Ohio. We won Ohio very easily. And Bob Paduchek, who ran that campaign, is here. We love Ohio. Those are incredible people. But what happened was a surprise because in the midst of all, they said, and Donald Trump has just won the state of, before Michigan, Wisconsin. And everyone go, whoa, 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 right? They said, whoa, what's this? What's this? That one was, I mean, not, where did that come from? But we've done a great job, and they're great people. And we opened it up for the dairy farmers in Wisconsin. We opened up Canada with our New Deal for the first time. They like us. Great deal. But then it said, and we're running a string. And this is when they started getting extremely nervous. And a very nice guy named John King for CNN. You know, he has the board, the red board. And his hand is like starting to shake. Well, because that board had so much red on it, they've never seen anything like it. They didn't know what was happening, right? That board was red. That board was red. I remember when North Carolina, great state, incredible people, incredible. And the opponent, let's be nice, the opponent said very strongly in the straw that that is their firewall. They cannot lose that. They have it made, except for one problem. Donald Trump won the state of North Carolina. Won the state. But then out of the blue, they said, oh, you know, there was some crying, you know. These people are very fair. They're crying, okay? And they're not crying out of happiness, that I could understand. They're crying out of despair. But then out of the blue, he was saying to himself, we got a problem here. Because Donald Trump has just won the great state of Michigan. And that was the ball game, folks. That was the ball game. Wisconsin, Michigan. It was was that one of the greatest evenings of all time? And you know, that was every network, every cable station, everything, everybody. Look at them all back there. Oh, they're loving this. They're loving this every once in a while. Don't worry, I'm not going to mention CNN's name. We're not going to watch it. I won't mention NBC or ABC or CBS. I'm not going to mention, I'm not going to mention that you treat us very unfairly. But I think they're getting tired of it. You know why? Because we keep winning. It's driving them crazy. It's driving them crazy. So anyway, you're right, USA, nothing like it. Made in the USA. That's happening. They're all moving back, folks. Those companies are all moving back. So this young woman was incredible. And I said, you know, that woman that did such a good job for all of us in Michigan, I think we have to move her to Washington, D.C. to run the Republican National Committee. And she's been there ever since, and she has done a fantastic job. Ronna McDaniel. Come up, Ronna. And she actually is very good on television, too. Just say a couple of quick things.
You guys already heard it. The president was in Michigan the night before we won in 2016. He's in Missouri tonight. You need to deliver a win.
Thank you, folks. That's great. Great job. Great job. What a group. I always said that women are smarter than men. Sorry, men, but we understand it, right? Men, do we understand it? No, these are great people. They're great people, and they're our friends, and they work hard for us, and they could be doing other things, but they love what they're doing. They love what we're accomplishing. And tomorrow, the people of Missouri are going to send Josh Hawley to the United States Senate to keep America's economic boom going full speed ahead. In less than 2 years' time, we have accomplished more than anyone could have ever imagined. We are so far ahead of schedule. If I ever said what we've done along the campaign trail, they would have never, ever let it happen. They would have gone out and said, he's exaggerating. Except for one problem. We've done far more than we ever said we could do. And America's extraordinary comeback is the envy of the entire world. The whole world is talking about it. We're the hottest nation in the world. We're the hottest. And I have great respect for China and President Xi's a friend of mine, although he doesn't like me as much lately, but that's okay. He'll be back. But he said he'll have to get over it. Only a person from Missouri could say that. Who said that? No, we're doing well, and we're doing well with everything, frankly. But I will say we have to get out tomorrow, and we have to elect a Republican Congress. We have to do it. We've got to stop crying Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi from erasing everything that we've gained. Our economy is setting records on a daily basis. There is no place I would rather be for the last stop of this campaign than right here in Missouri with the incredible men and women who make our country run. This is my last stop. Thank you. Thank you. You know, we're changing the slogan. It's Make America Great Again. Greatest slogan of all time. Greatest slogan. But you know what? We can't use it for the second four, right? Because, like, they'd say, well, I thought you were going to make it great. What are you doing using it again? So our new slogan will be in another year, Keep America Great. Keep America great. That's true. Because the wrong people follow us in office, it can all be gone. All of those 401ks where your wife or your husband thinks you're a super genius, a great financial genius, because you're up 51%, you're up 60%, you're up 42%. My husband's a genius, but for their whole marriage of 20 years, she was screaming at him, cursing at him, saying, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Now all of a sudden, he's a genius. You're looking very good. You're looking very good. But I have to say, so this is my last stop, right? I told you. Left Ohio. Left Georgia yesterday. Left all these great states. Montana. Big sky, big sky. We left all of these great states. We covered a lot of territory. My last stop is here. I think for one reason, and I have to say it, because this is the home of Rush Limbaugh. And David Limbaugh. David, thank you. David. Thank you, David. Great lawyer. I hear David's a great lawyer. Right, David? David told me. No, but Sean told me. Everybody tells me. Thank you, David. But this is the home of Rush, and what he did today was fantastic, because he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. This is his home. He loves Missouri, and that's very important. Also, this is the place that Josh is running. Josh is a young, incredible guy with tremendous talent. He will serve this country so well. He will represent Missouri so well. And he's actually leading. He's actually leading. He's actually leading. For decades, Washington only served the powerful and the well-connected. Those days are over. Together, We are the voice for every citizen who has ever been overlooked, abandoned, neglected, ignored. You remember the word, the deplorables. Oh, that was a good speech. I don't know, did the speechwriter for the deplorable speech, did that person get fired immediately or the following week? Wow, did he give us a great gift. But the deplorables are the greatest people on earth. They're the smartest. Say a little prayer. Go ahead. Say a little prayer. That's good. That's good. Say a little prayer. That was really something. I want to just thank everybody for the way you behaved. That was beautiful. And that at the end was beautiful. Amazing Grace. Thank you very much. That was beautiful. Hopefully she'll be okay. Hopefully she'll be okay. I want to just say that tomorrow's so important. Josh Hawley is an amazing fighter. We need to keep this jobs boom going. We need to keep our country going the way it is. You saw what was announced on Friday. Friday was incredible. It was incredible. The jobs numbers, last month alone, we added 250,000 brand new jobs. The unemployment rate is at its lowest level in more than 50 years. We've created 4.5 million new jobs since Election Day, and we have lifted 4.3 million Americans off of food stamps. African American, Hispanic American, and Asian American unemployment have all reached their lowest levels in history. We have brought African American and Hispanic American poverty levels to their lowest point ever recorded. There has never been a better time for the American worker. We passed a massive tax cut for Missouri workers and for the United States. And we will soon follow it up with another 10% tax cut for the middle class. And to protect your rights and your freedoms, we overcame the Democrat smear campaign and confirmed the newest member of the United States Supreme Court, Justice Brett Kavanaugh. And you saw what happened on Friday also. We had great jobs numbers, but we also had something else. The accuser of Brett Kavanaugh, a man who is a fine man, the accuser admitted she never met him, she never saw him, he never touched her, talked to her, he had nothing to do with her. She made up the story. It was false accusations. It was a scam. It was fake. It was all fake. And you know, when that came about, people were calling for him to immediately get out. Think of that. Think if he would have done that. And then we found out that it was all false accusations, false statements, a made-up story. And let's look at the rest of them, please. Let's look at the rest of them. Because that man suffered. You know, when I decided it was going to be him, and it was early, because honestly, for 10 years I've been hearing about a man named Judge Brett Kavanaugh. I've been hearing about it for a long time. And they all said he's fantastic. Intellectually, he's a great scholar. And he will someday be on the Supreme Court. Now, that was 10 years ago. Can you believe it? And little did I think I'd be the one appointing him. But I'll never forget, Rush. I'll never forget this, Rush. I brought him to the White House. And I said, Judge, then Judge, now Justice. I said, Judge Kavanaugh, I want to congratulate you. I'm choosing you to serve on the United States Supreme Court. And he said, this is the greatest honor of my life. I would like to thank you, Mr. President. And I said, Judge, by the way, just so you know, this is going to go so quick. This is going to be so easy. You have led such an incredible, exemplary life. This is going to go so fast. No problem. And then it began. And then it began. And he hung in there. And I hung in there too, by the way. I hung in there too. False accusations. False accusations. They want to ruin a man or a woman. Ruin a man. And it was headed up all by the Democrats. All by the Democrats. Right? All by the Democrats. Dianne Feinstein with Did You Leak? A great, great, brave, brave soldier from Vietnam, except he never saw Vietnam. Da Nang Dick, you know, Da Nang. He's from Da Nang. We charged up the hill. Soldiers were falling left and right. But I was protecting them. I was there. Except he never saw Vietnam. And then he gets up and he says, we demand honesty. We demand the truth. Can you believe this? This could only happen to us. This could only happen to us. In any event, we energized the Republican Party with that. The Democrats overplayed their hand, just as they overplay their hand with a lot of things. They overplayed their hand, like the Russia nonsense, Russia. Russia did it, it was Russia. They used it as an excuse by the Democrats for losing an election that they should have won because they have a big advantage in the Electoral College. Remember, they used to say, there is no way for Donald Trump to get 270. And they were right. We got 306. They were right. We got 306. They use that as an excuse, and they always overplay their hand. Got some bad people, and you have some good people over there, too, I have to be honest. But you got some bad people. The contrast in this election could not be more clear. Democrats produce mobs. That's what's happened. Republicans produce jobs. We are proudly joined by many terrific Missouri Republicans, including tonight, your great governor has done a fantastic job, Mike Parson. Mike? And Mrs. Parson, great job. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. Great job, Mike. And members of Congress, one of them stopped Washington about 3 weeks ago when he started doing his little auction deal, right? Billy, Does anybody know Billy Long? I have never heard an auctioneer so good. I've never heard an auctioneer as good, but he's a great congressman, more importantly, and he loves the people of this state, and he loves your state. Billy Long, congressman. Billy, you're a great guy. Did everybody see that a month ago? He started doing the auction thing, everybody, and these were hardened political people. They've heard it all. And they just stopped in their tracks. They said, what the hell is that? And it was our friend Billy. It was amazing. And another congressman from Missouri, always there for us, just like Billy. Somebody that's been there for the tax cuts, and there for regulation, and there for right to try, right to try. You know what right to try is? Big thing, big deal. It's a big deal. And he was there along with some really great people in the Republican Party to take care of our vets, to give them choice for the first time in 44 years. They've been trying for 44 years. Congressman Jason Smith. Thank you, Jason. If you don't want to be saying the words, Speaker of the House Pelosi, for the next 2 years, get out and vote for Billy and Jason. They don't really need your vote, but get out and do it anyway because, wow, that would be a story. We don't want to be complacent. We don't want to be there. Great people, so get out and vote for your congressmen and women. Tomorrow, the people of Missouri are going to elect a truly outstanding new senator. Josh Hawley will be a tireless champion for the great people of Missouri. He is great on jobs. He is great on cutting taxes. And there is nobody tougher on crime. He shares your values, and he will always support our military, our vets, and our great law enforcement. Josh is running against an extreme liberal Democrat named Claire McCaskill. She got lucky the last time. She got lucky the last time. She was way down the last time, and somebody running, it didn't look too good. She got a little bit, she got a pass, let's put it that way. She got a pass. It was a sad thing that happened. That whole thing was a sad thing in many ways. Anyway, she got in. And now Josh is actually up slightly in the polls. Just came out. But she was going down. And then she said, the Democrats are crazy. And I said, that's genius for getting elected. I give her credit for that. She's taking a lot of heat, but she'll patch it up over one lunch a day after the election. If she wins, but I hope that's not gonna. If she doesn't win, then she's going to have long-term trouble. But she said, the Democrats are crazy. And then she said, and I agree with our president on border security. I agree. All of a sudden, she agrees with me. I'm in office for almost 2 years. All of a sudden, she's agreeing. Look, folks, just so you understand, so the election's tomorrow, Tuesday. On Wednesday, she will no longer agree with me on border security. No longer. No longer. A vote for Clara McCaskill is a vote for Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the legendary Maxine Waters. And more important, it's a vote for their horrible socialist agenda. Clara McCaskill will be a disaster for jobs, for your families, for your state. And again, on Wednesday, she will no longer remember anything she said, and she will never, ever vote for us on the big things where we need her vote, ever. Just like she didn't vote for Judge Kavanaugh. she's not going to vote for us. And that's the way it is. It's very simple. And while I very much appreciate her great support out of nowhere along the border, it disappears on Wednesday morning. Claire voted against middle-class tax cuts. She voted against Neil Gorsuch. And Claire joined the Democrat mob in voting against Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Claire McCaskill has one of the most open border voting records in all of Congress. Claire McCaskill voted no on Kate's Law, and she voted no on enhanced vetting for refugees. Let's just let them in, let them in, let them in. And Claire voted in favor of deadly sanctuary cities. She would rather protect criminal aliens than American citizens, which is why she needs to be voted out of office tomorrow, please. If you want jobs and if you want safety, you have only one choice. A young, talented man who's going to be, I tell you, I really believe this, he's going to go down as one of our great senators, Josh Hawley. Josh, come on up, Josh.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Isn't it incredible to have President Donald Trump in Southeast Missouri? You know, Senator Claire McCaskill said that she could give up a few votes in the Boot Hill. Did you hear that? I bet she regrets it now. President Trump won the state of Missouri by 20 points. How about that? 20 points. And he has delivered for this state. But you would think with a record like the president's that the career politicians in Washington, D.C. would get the message, but Claire McCaskill sure hasn't. She hasn't heard a word you said in 2016. President Trump has been fighting to put pro-Constitution, pro-America judges on the bench like Brett Kavanaugh. But Claire McCaskill voted no. President Trump is securing our border. But Claire McCaskill is sponsoring the most radical open borders bill in the history of the United States Congress. She voted for amnesty. She voted for amnesty. She has called the border wall embarrassing. That's her word. And she's mocked the president for wanting to have it. Does that represent us? I don't think so. President Trump lowered your taxes, but Claire McCaskill voted no. She's voted to raise your taxes over 200 times, and President Trump has fought to roll back regulations on our family farms and family businesses like the waters of the United States rule. It's gone because of him. But Claire McCaskill voted for every far-left environmentalist regulation the Obama administration could dream of. She even voted to keep the waters of the United States rule. But I have to say, maybe Senator McCaskill's record shouldn't be such a surprise, because she did say that she thought the reason President Trump got elected was because of the Russians. That's what she said. She told a journalist that, because of the Russians. What she doesn't realize is President Trump got elected because of the Missourians. And we're going to re-elect him. That's right. That's right. You know, the more I listen to Claire McCaskill, the more she reminds me of another career politician that President Trump defeated in 2016. The person that Claire McCaskill thought should be president. Do you know what I'm talking about? Hillary Rodham Clinton. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Senator McCaskill has spent a lifetime in politics, just like Hillary. Senator McCaskill has made a boatload in federal money, just like Hillary. Senator McCaskill voted for amnesty, just like Hillary. Senator McCaskill is for open borders, just like Hillary. Senator McCaskill is for activist liberal judges, just like Hillary. Senator McCaskill even has a phony foundation that makes millions of dollars a year and pays nothing in taxes, just like Hillary. Tell you what, Senator McCaskill said that we all ought to call Hillary Madam President. Well, tomorrow, we're going to call Senator McCaskill fired. Thank you very much. God bless you.
That's great. So everybody get out and vote for Josh Hawley tomorrow. So important. He will be one of the leaders of the Senate in a short period of time. He's a very special person, and he will never, ever let you down. I know that about him. If Democrats gain power on Tuesday, one of their very first projects will be a socialist takeover of American health care. You know what's happening, and your taxes are going to triple, maybe quadruple. You're not going to be happy. I know you well. The Democrat plan would obliterate Obamacare. It will also, which is good, but leave the bad parts behind. It will destroy Medicare. And by the way, did you notice we got rid of the individual mandate in Obamacare? Right? Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about the individual mandate, most unpopular thing, and it's going to be gone. Soon Obamacare will be gone. We actually had it. We missed one vote. One vote! One vote. That was a little bit of a surprise to us at 2 o'clock in the morning. One vote. But we didn't get any Democrat votes. If Claire McCaskill, we would have repealed it and replaced it. But essentially, it's being obliterated anyway, and it's going to be, you're going to have great advantages with health care when you see what we're doing. We want to watch if they win. They will eliminate Medicare Advantage for more than 411,000 Missouri seniors. Republicans will protect Medicare for our great seniors who earned it and who, by the way, have paid for it. You know that, right? You know that. And Republicans will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions, always. We are protecting patients. The Democrats' plan to destroy health care also includes raiding Medicare to fund benefits for illegal immigrants. Somehow that doesn't work well in Missouri. It's a common sense people, by the way. You know, it's all about common sense. You know that. They say, are you a conservative? I say, yeah, I'm conservative. But you know what it's common sense. Most of it's all common sense, folks. It's common sense. You know what it's called? It's called we have to do what's right. We have to have borders. Without borders, we don't have a country. We have to do what's right. We can't let foreign nations take advantage of us. They've been taken for years and years, taking advantage of us. We can't allow it to happen. It's not going to happen anymore. We can't protect rich nations, really, really successful rich nations. We protect them, and they don't pay us for the protection, or they pay us a small fraction. It's not fair. And I tell them, sorry, it's not fair, and we're working it out. You're talking about a lot of money. You're talking about a lot of money. As we speak, Democrats are openly encouraging millions of illegal aliens to break our laws and violate our borders. And they want to sign them up for free welfare, free health care, free education, and most importantly, they want to give them the right to vote. I can't imagine why. Democrats' immigration policies are extreme, dangerous, reckless, and insane. They support catch and release. They want to free criminal aliens. They want no protections for American workers and taxpayers. And they want totally open borders, which means crime will pour into our country. Illegal immigration costs our country more than $100 billion every year, and that's more than the budgets of Missouri, Indiana, and Wisconsin combined. I mentioned those places. You know why? Because we have very important races in those places, and we have all these Academy Award-type cameras going back there. We want to win in those places, too. A nation ought to take care of its own citizens first. Nearly 100% of the heroin in the United States enters through the southern border, along with roughly 90% of cocaine, the majority of meth, and a substantial portion of deadly fentanyl. These drugs kill more than 70,000 Americans a year and destroy the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. Last year alone, our brave ICE officers arrested more than 127,000 illegal aliens. And they had criminal records, including those charged or convicted of approximately 48,000 assaults, 12,000 sex crimes, and 1,800 homicides. But despite that, the Democrats want to abolish ICE. They want to abolish ICE. They want America to be a giant sanctuary city for gang members and MS-13 killers. Republicans believe America should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. Right? We will always stand for the heroes of ICE, Border Patrol, and law enforcement. And by the way, I met a lot of your law enforcement back there. You have great law enforcement police in Missouri. They're great people. Among the most underappreciated people in this country, law enforcement. Among the most dangerous, tough. It's a tough job, but they are great people, and they love our country. This election is about security, and this election is about prosperity. For years you watched as we let foreign countries plunder our wealth, shutter our factories, and steal our jobs. No more, Missouri, no more. Not going to happen. America is respected again. We are respected. We have added 500,000 new manufacturing jobs since the election. Last month alone, we added another 32,000 manufacturing jobs. That's 1,000 new manufacturing jobs every single day, and the previous administrations said it could not be done. And those are among our best jobs. I recently announced that we are replacing the horrible NAFTA deal with an incredible brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement that everybody is for. The USMCA is a giant victory for Missouri farmers, factory workers, and dairy producers. And the other thing I did, and I'll just mention, for those of you that love your children, does anybody love your children in the audience? For those of you that love your children and you want to leave your small farm or your ranch or anything you have, including a small business, to your children, you now have no death tax to pay. You now have no estate tax to pay. So if you don't love your children, or if your children treat you badly, and you have no intention of leaving your farm or your other valuables to your children, because your children are just no good, then just forget what I just said, because it's not going to help you. But if you want to leave them that farm, and you pass, and what happens is they go out and they have to borrow and they mortgage it to the hilt. It's called mortgaging the farm. You know, it's an expression. You got to mortgage the farm. They mortgage the farm to pay the estate taxes, or death taxes as it's called. They don't have to do that anymore. They don't have to do that anymore. It's gone. That's a big thing. And the Democrats fought us on that one too, but we got it by. We have taken historic action to bring back American jobs by cracking down on China's abusive trade practices. And we're doing very well. We're doing very well. We're doing very, very well. We're taking in billions and billions of dollars in taxes from things that are sold to us. And China wants to make a deal, and that's fine with me. After years of rebuilding other countries, we are finally rebuilding our country. And we are doing it with American iron, American aluminum, and American steel. And thanks to our beautifully placed tariffs and very tough trade policies, America's steel and aluminum mills are roaring back to life like nobody has ever seen. Right here in Missouri, a company named Magnitude 7 Metals. Whoa, whoa, that's good. Well, that I didn't expect. That's nice. You like that company, don't you? Is reopening an aluminum smelter and creating 450 brand new jobs. Would never have happened. Every day it's promises made, promises kept. We have also taken bold action to reduce the price of prescription drugs. Happening. I called up Pfizer. I called up Novartis. And they were great. They rolled back their prices. That's when I realized how powerful this office is. When you can get the drug companies to roll back their increases back to where they were. And I appreciate the fact that they did it. And we have just offered a new affordable health care plan in Missouri that costs 71% less than the horrible Obamacare disaster. And there's more coming. We passed Veterans' Choice, giving our veterans the right to see a private doctor rather than waiting online for weeks and months to see a doctor. 44 years they tried to pass it. And I came up with that idea, and I thought it was brilliant. And I went back to my people and I said, you know what we'll do? There's no way there's so many people in line. It takes months and months. I said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have those people get offline, go outside, see a doctor, and we'll pay for the doctor. I said, I'm so smart. I am the most brilliant human being that has ever lived. And I went to my people, and I said, do this. Do it. They said, sir, we've been trying to get it passed for about 44 years. I said, oh. So it wasn't my idea. But you know what? I'm the only one that got it passed. That's even tougher. That's even tougher. That's even tougher. And we also got passed the landmark VA accountability law to ensure anyone who mistreats our great veterans will be held accountable. We will look at them and we will say, Jim, you're fired. Get out of here. Get out. Get out. Get out of here. We secured $700 billion and $716 billion to fully rebuild the United States military, which had become so depleted. And we buy everything right here in the good old USA. Best. We make the best ships, the best submarines. We make the best rockets and missiles. We make the best jet fighters and bombers and tankers. We make the best tanks. We make the best everything. All here. And we gave our great warriors their largest pay raise in more than a decade. And at my direction, the Pentagon is now working to create the 6th branch of the American Armed Forces called the Space Force. The Space Force. Very necessary. And I withdrew the United States from the horrible, one-sided Iran nuclear deal. It was a disaster. And if you haven't noticed, Iran is a much different country right now, but let's see what happens. We have recognized the capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. Every other president, practically, going back many years, every other president promised it, and they never had the courage, or whatever it is, to get it done. And I know why, because everybody started calling, just like they did me. They'd call and call. When I realized what they were all calling about, I said, tell them I'll call them back in a week. Now, I was going to sign it in 4 days. So when I called them back, I said, Mr. King, Mr. Queen, Mr. whatever. I said, listen, Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, what is it? Well, we want to talk to you about Israel and Jerusalem, but you've already done it. I said, oh, gee, I wish you got to me sooner. Because the calls were like from everybody. So I understand why other presidents didn't do it. But we did it, and that's a big thing. Together we have made extraordinary progress, and we are just getting started. This is the greatest political movement in the history of our country, what you've done. The greatest history of our country. 2 years ago, we shocked the Washington establishment and stunned the world. The entire world was stunned. We weren't stunned. We knew what was happening. We knew. When we defied the pundits and the critics and rejected the failures of the corrupt status quo and elected a government that finally puts America first. Every day, every single day, since every day, the failed old ruling class have been trying so hard. Oh, so hard. Wouldn't you think they'd like low taxes, strong military, nice borders, good schools, good health care, we'll get it done, good everything? They don't want that. They want to claw their way back into power. That's what they want. Because how can they be opposed to the strongest economy we've ever had? How can they be opposed to the greatest unemployment numbers in the history of our country, including for African Americans, Asians, and Hispanic Americans? How can they be opposed? There's got to be something else on their mind. Oh, I'm going to love that debate when I say we have the strongest economy in history, and the person over there is going to say why they should do better. Why they should do better. This is the same corrupt crew that chipped away your jobs, stole your wealth, and lined their pockets at your expense. You know that's what happened. Our opponents have been on a relentless campaign to obstruct, resist, demolish, defame, and destroy. Other than that, they're extremely nice. But you can stop them with your votes tomorrow. Got to get out there. Josh, our movement is America's movement. You are moms and dads, sons and daughters, students and workers, farmers and soldiers. You follow our laws, give back to our communities, and raise your children to be strong, upstanding citizens. You are loyal and faithful to your country. You love your country. And now, finally, you have a government and you have a president that is loyal and faithful to you. Right? Right? For years you watched as your leaders apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America. We are standing up for your values. We are standing up for Missouri. And we are proudly standing up for our great national anthem. I am asking every citizen from every party, every background, every race, color, and creed to reject the Democrat politics of anger, division, destruction, and to unite behind our proud, noble, and righteous destiny as Americans. That's what it is. I need you to get your family, get your friends, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, and go out and vote for Republican